Hi there, welcome to Data Structures and Algorithms. I'm Miguel Domingo, and together with Javier Jorge will be your lectures. Here you have our information, both our websites, and this is the email address for Microsoft Teams. You can see that it's different from the regular one, but if you want to contact through Teams, you need to use this one, and if it's an email, both of them work the same way. The methodology of this course is divided into theoretical lessons, which are delivered remotely and asynchronously through the course platform, which is Polyformat. We also have several practical sessions, which is a series of programming problems in which we aim to develop and test the programming skills you have acquired throughout the course. They can be conducted remotely and asynchronously, but also each session has a face-to-face class schedule in order to review it and solve any doubts, both of the practical session or the theoretical sessions. We also have several quizzes and exams for the evaluation. We will talk more of that later, but they all be conducted on face-to-face sessions. And finally, we have tuition activities that at any point you can ask for a tuition in order to help support any concept. The contents of this course is as follows. This is divided into 5 units in which we're going to see several data structures and algorithms, more precisely the divide and conquer strategy, binary search trees, priority queues and binary heaps, map sets and hash tables, and finally we have a final unit about graphs. Each unit has at least one practical session and 2 practical sessions in the case of the graphs unit. All resources are available at Polyformat. Here is the address to the Polyformat of the course. And these resources include announcement and task, the calendar, bibliography, course regulations, etc. You can communicate with us via Polyformat or by email, whichever method you prefer. And also for programming, you can use your preferred Python ID. Regarding the evaluation is composed of several steps. We have the quizzes we have mentioned at the beginning. Each unit has a quiz, which is for assessing key concepts. And since there are 5 units, 5 quizzes for a total of 5% each, for a total of 25% of the final grade. Then we have the practical sessions. Practical sessions is made of several exercises that you will have to submit at a given time. There will be a total of 6 sections. Remember, 1 for each unit, 2 in the case of unit 5. And this composes 15% of the final note with a total of 2 times 5% each practical session. And finally, we will have some partial exams. We will have 2 exams for a total of 5% each, and they will consist on a series of exercises to be solved on paper. How do we compute the final grade? Here we have the formula. It's just an addition of the 3 parts, 25% of the quiz, 15% practical sessions, and 60% of the final exams. This will be for the first cohort and the continuous assessment, but we also have a second cohort in which we can take a final exam in order to improve or if you have not your score is less than 50% of the partial exams. This final exam will consist of a single exam similar to the 2 partials, but with the contents of all the module. And if you take this exam, then the final grade will be the 25% of the quiz, 50% of the practical sessions. This cannot be recovered. This only for the first cohort. And the part of the partials now is changed, and that 60% is the maximum note between the one you obtained with the partial exams or the final exams. And finally, we have here a tentative study, which is what we recommend that you follow in order to successfully pass the course. And that means that the first week we recommend to focus on units 1 and 2 and take the first practical session. On the second week, to focus on units 2 and 3 and take the practical sessions 2 and 3. On this week, we will have the quizzes for unit 1 and 2, and we will also have the first partial exam that will cover units from 1 to 3. Then the following week, week 3, you should be focusing on units 4 and 5 and conducting the fourth practical session, and we will be conducting the quizzes for units 3 and 4. On the final week, you should be focusing on the final unit, unit 5. We will be taking the practical sessions 5 and 6, and remember that both of them are from unit 5. We will also take the quiz for unit 5, and on the last day, we have the second partial exams that will cover units 4 and 5. And that's everything. Thank you and welcome to the course.